Hey there, Teach Me to Inspire. Sorry I couldn't be there today. I hope this video gives you some kind of insight into the random wanderings of my inspired mind. I hope to find out what both inspires professional me as well as the slightly loose and random me. So I've kind of posed my presentation as a set of questions. So let's jump into those questions and see if we can't answer some of them. So what inspires me? Most definitely my family inspires me, my students, my colleagues, my friends, my professional learning network, and even the people in my fictional worlds inspire me. Am I inspiring? Probably a question that a lot of people I think would struggle to answer, but I'd hope that those people who inspire me have been inspired by me at some point as well. I think inspiration should be reciprocal. It should be a conversation. So allow me to continue that conversation and now address both the positive and negative sides of what makes teaching inspirational through my random wandering questions. So first up, why have we still not moved on? The Sir Ken Robinson video is nearly 10 years old. The 21st century is into its 16th year. We are still stuck in an education system built for the industrial age. Chalk and talk is not inspiring, no matter how many pretty screens you have. I've realized there are teachers on the tip of the iceberg who are doing very inspiring things. How can we make that happen throughout our entire system? I definitely think stopping standardized testing would help. Why are we still doing standardized testing? It doesn't help anyone. It doesn't inspire anyone. Recent results showed that the results of NAPLAN have not improved since its implementation. Really not surprising. Why are we still grouping our kids in schools according to their age? Kids can do inspirational stuff when they're grouped with like-minded kids, not kids of the same age. Have you ever seen a group of kids operating a Minecraft server, whether it's in real life like these kids, or whether it's watching them online? They don't care how old anyone is. As long as they can work together, they can teach one another, they're happy and they're learning. And all because they're grouped with kids who are like-minded. My next random wondering is why teachers are reluctant learners. Being a good learner can inspire your students to be good learners. So why are so many teachers so reluctant to form into groups and complete an activity? Why are they reluctant to do an edu-dating activity? Instead, they run for the closest exit. It's really frustrating that so many teachers are hesitant to learn when that learning process, when viewed by a student, can be so inspiring. Why do our politicians and policymakers not understand education? It doesn't seem to be filtering up to them that, we have inspirational and innovative teachers in our schools, but their policies continually block and stop that inspiration and innovation. It is beyond frustrating and a constant wandering of my mind. What part can parents play in this little game of teaching and learning? So many parents I know gauge the success of their child based on their homework sheets and on NAPLAN results. And quite often those same parents don't seem to have any books in their house. I realize that's not all parents, but it's really, really frustrating that even parents don't seem to know what will inspire their kids to become lifelong learners. Oh my goodness, I am being such a negative Nelly. Now, that's probably because these questions and the quest to answer them actually inspire me. Sure, they're frustrating, but the challenge to challenge these ideas is what makes me excited to be a teacher, an IT integrator, an edu-geek, and an edu-punk. So, let's focus on the positive for the second half of this presentation. Next question, how can all the teachers and students be inspired to be innovators, no matter where they sit on the good old innovation scale? I definitely think a little bit of patience helps. Innovators and early adopters need to be patient with the early and late majorities, and everyone needs to be patient with the laggards. In the past 12 months, I've seen so many teachers and students pick up, tools and concepts that have been around for years. You know, Prezi, Weebly, Minecraft, Photoshop. They're now doing flipped classrooms, inquiry models, project-based learning. Yes, for the innovators and early adopters, they've been around for a while. But for the vast majority of teachers who are now picking that up, that's a great thing. And we need to really encourage that and let them be inspired by tools and teaching philosophies that we perhaps have been, used to for some time now. Why do I love design thinking? This is a recent kind of interest that I've taken in the idea of structuring my teaching units around the design thinking model. I think the process is one that develops those lifelong skills required to build deeper knowledge and learning long after they've left my classroom. And it really does feature inspiration as part of the process. Why do I love technology? I've liked technology ever since my mum and dad bought me and my brothers a Commodore 64 back in the 1980s. And now I simply love it because it increases my productivity, turns me into an artist and a designer, and it puts the entire world at my fingertips. Technology will always just be a set of tools, and you'll always need people to drive those tools and teach kids how to use them. Those tools allow me to find new sources of inspiration every single day. The dreaded C word. Why do I like change? I think I just like change because I get bored really easily. I think if I ever find a time in my life that I can no longer accept change, then I've probably found a time in my life when I'm no longer being inspired. I think change and inspiration go together, and I hope they're a part of my life for a very, very long time. Why do I love Minecraft? I'm pretty sure I've heard Waginski yell a woohoo from the back of the room. 20 seconds a slide is just not enough to cover why I love Minecraft. It's the ultimate learning tool. It's the ultimate tool for inspiration. You can literally do anything. It produces creativity, inspiration, collaboration from 3-year-olds to 103-year-olds. If you haven't played it, try it. If you haven't introduced it to your school, speak to Lee Hughes after the break. Next random question. Why do I want to implement portfolios in my classroom and school? I think it's a lifelong skill that I can give to students and perhaps teachers that will benefit them no matter which field they go into. From a designer to a plumber, showcasing your work is so important. From my perspective, it's a much better assessment tool than NAPLAN or any other ridiculous test because portfolios show individual student learning over time. I haven't done much with them yet, but I am definitely inspired to do so in the future. Why do I love social media? I love social media because it can inspire me in little ways and in big ways. Yes, while making this presentation, I was extremely distracted, but while over on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram being distracted, I found a whole heap of pictures and ideas for this particular presentation. Social media also keeps me connected to my friends, to my family, to the world, and to my PLN. Speaking of PLN, why do I love my PLN? My personal learning network. I'm never alone thanks to my PLN. I can be at a conference and talk to my PLN both face-to-face and online about what's happening at that conference. I can have a bad day and vent to 2,500 followers that may or may not care. I can have a great day and share my joy with all my edu-peeps. They inspire me every day as I'm always learning with and through my PLN. My random wanderings are almost finished. My final question, why do I love Teach Meets? I always walk away with a little bit of inspiration from a Teach Meet. More often than not, I'll walk away completely inspired or re-inspired to face all those negative challenges I mentioned earlier, plus obviously positive ones. Just making this presentation has inspired me to take that next step with student portfolios. Teach Meets are a great way to inspire and be inspired. So thanks for listening to my random wanderings at this particular Teach Meet Inspired. Thanks to listening to what inspires and frustrates me at the same time. Inspiration is different for us all. Find inspiration in all that you do. Find inspiration in your friends and family. Find inspiration in your students and colleagues. Find it in your questions. Find it in your failures. Find it in your frustrations. Because just like this quote, inspiration can't shine without a little darkness.